Hi friends, Tracy.bish here, Stampin Up demonstrator in Central Victoria, Australia. Welcome to my channel. I'm really excited that you're here. I'm sharing with you another OnStage swap. I am attending Stampin Up's OnStage in Sydney, and one of the best things about attending OnStage, which is a demonstrator only event, is the chance to swap with fellow demonstrators and be inspired by everyone's creativity. So this is the card that we're going to create today. It is a diorama card. I'm using some products from the Beach Boardwalk Suite, which you can find in the mini catalogue, page 46. I'm also using the Simply Said stamp set, which is in the annual catalogue, stylish shaped dies in the annual catalogue, and the So Swirly embossing folder from the annual catalogue. We are also going to be using not only the Boardwalk Fun dies from the Beach Boardwalk Suite, but also the Beach Boardwalk 12x12 DSP pack that has gorgeous colours in there. There's some really great designs as well. So there's like water, there's palm trees, there's carnival rides, there's tickets, there's lots of fun things that you can use in there, and it's such a pretty paper. So go and check that one out. Beach Boardwalk Suite, page 46 onwards in the mini catalogue. Go and take a look at that. I am actually only using the dies for this card. I didn't buy the stamp set. I thought that I could just use the dies, and I'm really happy with just the dies, so completely up to you. We're also using Blackberry Bliss ink and a few different cardstocks. So we've got Pretty in Pink, Flirty Flamingo, and Pretty in Pink, Basic White, and Strawberry Slush. Sorry, had a mental blank there. So starting off with half a piece of A4. So I've just chopped the normal card base down, so it's 4 1/8 by 11 3/4. Scored it in the middle at 5 7/8. And then once we've burnished that score line, I'm just going to pop it back in the trimmer. I'm going to do a couple of score lines at 1/2 inch and then 1 inch. We're going to sort of do that to the other side, and this will create that diorama fold in the card. So really easy. We'll have to come back and rescore this once we've embossed and die cut. It's very hard to see with white cardstock. Maybe if it was with a different, like a colour cardstock, we might have been able to see the score lines a little bit better, but I do struggle a little bit seeing them, so we're going to come back in and do those score lines again. I have a piece of that beautiful DSP now that measures 3.5 by 3 3/4, and we're going to line that up in between those score lines. So you can see that 1 inch score line there. We're lining that in the center, so it gives us a nice little white border all the way around. The stylish shape dies, I'm taking that largest circle, and I love these stylish shape dies. They have a stitched edge, and it looks amazing. So we're not actually adhering down that DSP. I'm just popping it in the center there, placing the die cut on top, and we're just going to run it through. You can use washi tape or positionable tape if you're worried about it moving. I just made sure that I was really careful as I was doing these, and it stayed in place, so I didn't have any problems there. So let's run that through our embossing machine to make sure we get a nice clean cut. We are going through 2 levels of cardstock, so it is best probably to run through and then back again just to make sure that it's nice and clean cut. And then we have our 2 pieces ready to go. There are a few little bits and pieces there just from the cardstock and the DSP, so you just wipe them away, that's fine. And you're left with this great circle. Now there's a basic white circle and the DSP. Because it's stitched, it's really hard to get them apart, but we haven't adhered them, so they do come apart, and you can use these on other cards or other projects. I've actually got quite a few because I made a few of these cards, so I think I might have to do maybe either a couple of cards and maybe a couple of scrapbook pages with it as well. So we have this all set up. Before we adhere anything down, we're going to run that front page, or the front of the card, through the So Swirly embossing folder. And because it's white cardstock, I wanted to give it, you know, a little bit more oomph, and the embossing folders really do make it look standing out. Like it's absolutely gorgeous. Now I could run a blender brush over it as well to highlight those swirls, but honestly it comes up so well anyway on the card base, and you can really notice it anyway. So I was really happy with how that turned out. So as you can see, look how that turned out. We're just going to fold it back over, and that So Swirly embossing folder has some great design. It's a really bold design. Okay, so I'm going to come back in with my trimmer now, and I'm just going to go over those score lines, so the 1/2 inch and 1 inch on both sides. This is just going to be able to help that I can see those score lines, and because we've already run it through the embossing folder, you just want to make sure that when you're folding your card into the diorama pieces that you're scoring on the right score line. Okay, so we're just going to fold our card base here to make that diorama. So folding backwards is the first one, and then the next one we're going to fold forwards. Wrong way, Tracy. It's the other way. There we go. We worked it out. Yeah. So folding that one in, which is fine. There we go. Once I made a few of these, I was good. I don't know about you guys. Do you struggle with these sometimes? Making sure that it's going the right way. So when your circle is in the center, you're folding backwards. And yeah. There we have it. And that creates our top diorama fold. And we're going to do the exact same for the bottom as well. And you want to use your bone folder, make sure you get nice, clean burnishes. Now what's really great is this will fold flat and go through an envelope, so you don't have to worry about, you know, is this going to be able to be put through the mail? It will go through the mail, and then when they get it out of the envelope, they can just push the sides into the center, and that creates your diorama fold again and makes it sit out and look beautiful. So I really liked this Ferris wheel in this die set. I thought that was super fun, and with the palm trees in the frame, I thought that would be really nice. So I've gone with Blackberry Bliss, Strawberry Slush, and Pretty in Pink for our colours. And I think this all tied in really well, but honestly you could use any colours. You could do a boy one and have you know, blues or tans, whatever you'd like. Okay, now to adhere your card together, you're going to just run a strip of adhesive. I'm using Tear and Tape to my end section here. That's going to fold that together. And you're also going to be adding a little bit to the center. So it's actually the section right next to the embossed section there. And that's just going to hold your two sides, glue those two sides together. So it helps when you're pushing it together and sitting flat in your envelope. So you're just going to make sure that you pop that down really nice and gently, and make sure you're lining them up as you go. Because it's embossed and sitting upwards, it was sitting a little bit higher than normal. And there you go. You can push your two sides to the center, and it creates that diorama fold perfectly. Now let's add our DSP that we have already die cut the center from. Now these line up perfectly because we've already die cut them together. So you're just going to use a little bit of liquid glue and add that around the card or the DSP. Let me know if you were to make this card, what stamp set would you use, what DSP would you use? Because I think, you know, the possibilities are completely endless with what you have in your stash. Now for our die cutting, I have already pre-die cut quite a few things. From the basic white thick cardstock, I have die cut a ticket from that die set. I've also die cut a large palm tree from the Blackberry Bliss. I've got my Ferris wheel, which is the main feature there. In Pretty in Pink, I have a large, a small palm tree, and then I have one round through with those little, this one here, which cuts out the little parts on the wheel. And then in Strawberry Slush, I have the large palm tree, as well as another round of those little carriages, and I also cut through one more because I needed one for the center of the Ferris wheel. So what's really great is that little die that cuts out the little pieces. You go through twice and you have the full Ferris wheel, so you need 12 in your Ferris wheel. Now I've got the stamp set that I just wanted a happy birthday, and this one's actually a really nice large sentiment, so it's one word. So what I've done is I'm just inking up the happy and stamping that on the ticket. Then I'm going to clean my stamp, make sure that it is nice and clean and dry. We're going to stamp it off a little bit to make sure that that happy's not going to stamp again, because we really don't want to. Once we're stamping birthday, we don't want the happy to be stamped again. So I want to make sure that there's nothing on that stamp. And then we're just lining up that birthday and inking that up, and we can stamp that down. Now I'm using the photopolymer stamp sets here, which is all that Stampin' Up have available now. But this makes a really easy way of, you know, redesigning your stamp layout if you need to, or if you would like to. So makes it really easy. So we've got our ticket stamped and ready to go. Let's take our Ferris wheel, and we're just going to add all these little, I don't even know what they would be called, carriages, seats, I'm not really sure, but we do have those in the Pretty in Pink and Strawberry Slush. And oh good, I did make this a little bit faster because it did take me a little while. And because I'm using liquid glue, I get sticky fingers, and you know how it goes. Mini glue dots would work as well if you're maybe not wanting to get so much glue on yourself. But one thing we could do as well is just add a little dot of liquid glue to each of the areas on your main die, and then using your Take My Pick tool, picking it up, picking the little seat things up and then putting them down onto the die cut would work as well. So a couple of different ways there that you could do it. Now if you are using the mini glue dots, that gives that a little bit of a 3D effect as well, which would look really, really cool. So now I'm just going to glue this to the inside circle of our card, and I think I try and go through the center of the card, but then I come through the bottom or the top. I just found that was a little bit easier. And you just want to sort of center that carousel in the center of the circle. Doesn't quite fit with the bottom of the stand, but that's okay. Oh, there you go. I went in that way. I think when I made all of them, I actually moved them through the bottom piece. So it's so fun. You're looking through the circle at the carnival. So cute. Okay, so then we're going to add down our palm trees as well. I've got my Strawberry Slush one. I'm just going to add that to the right hand side. Now you want to be careful of your glue placement, because you only really want it on the center of the whole palm tree, because that's what's going to connect with the front of the card. You don't want it on the inside edge of the circle or on the other side, because we don't want to, once we glue it down, we don't want them to glue to the sides of the card as well. Also going to add the large palm tree in basic white thick, and then we can add our ticket down with some dimensionals, and I just wanted to pop that up, give that little bit of a pop up, and we're going to add our Pretty in Pink palm tree over the top. So that just gives, you know, a little bit of extra color and dimension and fun. And because I made a few of these, I went with some basic rhinestones for our little added pretties on the card. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Words are hard this morning. But I thought that looked really cute. Very fun, very beachy, very carnival-like. And I hope that if I've swapped with you at OnStage in Sydney, that you've really enjoyed the card. I really enjoyed creating it, and it was actually for an organised swap, and it didn't go ahead. We only did one fun fold in the organised swap, and I was hoping that we would do 2, but that's okay. I just had more cards to swap with people, and which is always so much fun. Alright, so this is just one of the cards for the Stampin' Up OnsStage swaps that I have available here on my YouTube channel. If they're not all out yet, they won't be out in too long of a time, so make sure you keep coming back and checking. Thank you so much for spending a bit of time with me. I really hope that you've enjoyed today's card. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. I would love it if you left me a comment. You can also subscribe to my channel, and if you would like any of the products that you see on today's video or any other Stampin' Up products, you can purchase them in my online store. I'll have a link in the description of this video and you can purchase it there. Alright, thank you so much for spending a bit of time with me. I really do appreciate you coming on and watching. I hope that you've enjoyed the card, and I look forward to coming back from OnStage and sharing with you all the cards that I received back in the swaps. Okay everyone, have a wonderful day. See you all soon. Bye.